gift wrapped in a no. When was the last time you were rejected? Think back to that cold, sharp moment. A door slammed shut in your mind. A path was blocked. A connection was severed. You were left in the echoing silence with that sinking feeling in your stomach, the one that whispers, "You are not good enough." They probably thought their no would be the end of your story, that it would diminish you, stop you, and send you retreating into the shadows of self-doubt. But what if they were wrong? What if that rejection, that painful, stinging moment, was not a punishment at all? What if it was a gift in disguise, a message from the universe wrapped in the coarse paper of disappointment? They thought they were taking power from you, but they may have just handed you the key to your greatest transformation. They thought they were building a wall, but they were actually showing you the way to a hidden door. This is the quiet art of turning rejection into your ultimate advantage, of using their no to fuel a profound yes deep within yourself. This is the secret to becoming truly unstoppable. Stay with me, because your perception of rejection is about to change forever. Lesson 1. Rejection is redirection. The first Stoic principle to understand is that rejection is not a verdict on your value. It is merely an external event, and as the Stoics taught, external events are indifferent. We are conditioned to see a no as a judgment on our character or our efforts. We internalize it as a personal failure, a permanent mark against us. But this is a deep misunderstanding of how a Stoic mind navigates the world. Rejection is not a stop sign. It is a signpost. It is the logos, the rational order of the universe, pointing you away from a path that was not meant for you. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius, a man who faced betrayal, plague, and constant war, wrote in his private journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The very thing that blocks you can be the thing that builds you." When you are turned down for a job, it is not a declaration of your incompetence. It is a redirection toward an opportunity where you will not just work, but thrive. When a relationship ends, it is not a judgment on your worthiness to be loved. It is making space for a connection that will elevate you instead of stifling your growth. The pain of rejection comes from our attachment to a specific outcome, an outcome that was never in our control. We fixate on that one job, that one person, and we chain our well-being to it. The Stoics knew this was the primary error of human suffering, placing your happiness in things you cannot control. You cannot control a hiring manager's decision or another person's feelings, but you can control your response. You can choose to see the closed door not as a prison wall, but as a signal to turn around and see the other doors that are now open to you. Think of yourself as a river. A river does not stop when it meets a boulder. It does not question its purpose or its right to flow. It simply flows around it, accepting the obstacle as part of the landscape. That boulder, that rejection, becomes part of the river's story, carving a new and perhaps more beautiful path downstream. This is your task. Stop seeing the boulder as an enemy. See it as a guide. The next time you face a no, take a breath and ask a different question. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" ask, "Where am I being redirected?" This simple question shifts the power. You are no longer the victim. You are the explorer. The rejection was not the end. It was the beginning of a chapter you did not even know you were ready to write. Lesson 2. Use rejection for honest self-reflection. Once you see rejection as redirection, you can use it as a mirror for honest reflection. This takes courage. It is the difference between using a mirror to find a smudge on your face and using it to convince yourself you are hideous. Most of us, if we are honest, do the latter. We let rejection confirm our deepest insecurities. The Stoic path is to use it as a diagnostic tool, a moment of calm, clear-eyed assessment in the pursuit of wisdom. When the initial emotional sting fades, you must look into the mirror of that experience and ask, what part of this was mine? This is not about blame. It is about taking responsibility for what you can actually control. As the philosopher Epictetus taught, our chief task in life is to separate what is up to us from what is not. Their final decision was never in your control, but your preparation, your approach, your execution, those were. Maybe you were passed over for a promotion. The destructive inner voice says, "My boss hates me. The system is rigged." The constructive Stoic voice asks, "Was my presentation as sharp as it could have been? Did I clearly state my accomplishments over the last year? Are there skills I need to build so that I am the undeniable choice next time?" This is not about beating yourself up. It is about gathering data for virtue. Every rejection holds a lesson, but only if you are willing to look for it with radical honesty. The philosopher Seneca believed that adversity reveals our true character. He said that someone who has never faced hardship cannot know their own strength. In that same way, a rejection can reveal weaknesses in your strategy or gaps in your knowledge you were blind to before. This is the reverse psychology you apply to yourself. Your mind's first instinct is to either blame the world or attack yourself. You must calmly reject both. Instead, think like a scientist. The rejection was a failed experiment. It is not a reflection of your worth, but an outcome that gives you more information for the next trial. So take out a journal, just as Marcus Aurelius did. Write down what happened, just the facts. Then make 2 columns. In the first, list everything outside your control. Their mood, their biases, the timing. Consciously let those go. In the second, list everything that was within your control. Your attitude, your effort, the words you chose. Look at this column with gentle honesty. Where could you improve by just 5%? This turns a painful memory into a practical strategy session. You are no longer the one who was rejected. You are the student. And this lesson, learned in the pursuit of virtue, is more valuable than any easy success. Lesson 3. Focus on what you can control. We have touched on this, but it is so central to Stoicism, it deserves its own space. The dichotomy of control is the most practical tool in the Stoic arsenal, and it is your key to freedom from the pain of rejection. The concept, taught by Epictetus, is simple. Some things are up to us, and others are not. Within our control are our thoughts, our choices, our judgments, and our actions. Outside our control is almost everything else. What people think of us, whether they accept us, our reputation, the economy, the weather. The Stoics argued that all human misery comes from confusing these 2 categories. We suffer because we try to control what we cannot, while neglecting the one domain we command, our own inner world. When you are rejected, the pain you feel is a direct result of this confusion. You are suffering because you believe the outcome, their approval, should have been in your control. Their decision was always their choice, existing in their sphere of control. Tying your well-being to what other people do is a recipe for misery. Sanity is tying it to your own virtuous actions. Imagine you are an archer, a classic Stoic analogy. The archer can choose the best bow. They can practice for years to perfect their form, master their breathing, and check the wind. All of this is up to them. But once the arrow leaves the bow, the outcome is out of their hands. A sudden gust of wind or an unseen defect can alter its path. The foolish archer obsesses over the bullseye. His happiness rises and falls with that external result. The Stoic archer, however, defined success differently. Success was doing everything in his power to the best of his ability. He aimed well. He released cleanly. His job was to shoot with virtue. Whether the arrow hits or misses is secondary. This is how you must approach anything where no is a possibility. In a job interview, your task is not to get the job. Your task is to prepare diligently, communicate clearly, and present the best version of yourself. When you ask someone out, your task is not to get a yes. Your task is to be courageous, authentic, and respectful. When you make this shift, the fear of rejection starts to dissolve. It loses its sting because the outcome is no longer how you measure your worth. You are no longer gambling with your self-worth. You are simply doing your part with excellence. This does not make you passive. It makes you powerful. It frees up all the energy you once wasted on worry and channels it into what truly matters: your own choices, your own actions, your own character. Lesson 4. The power of a calm and silent response. In the moments right after a rejection, our instincts scream at us to react, chase them down, demand an explanation, plead your case, argue. We are desperate to reverse the decision. The Stoic approach, and a powerful form of reverse psychology, is to do the exact opposite, to respond with a calm and dignified silence. This is not about playing games or being passive-aggressive. It is about demonstrating unshakable self-respect. It is also about exercising the Stoic ideal of apatheia, a state of tranquility free from disturbing passions. It is about showing, not telling, that your peace is not dependent on their approval. When you react emotionally, with anger or begging, you confirm that their decision has the power to shatter you. You validate their power and diminish your own. Silence, on the other hand, is a statement of self-sufficiency. It creates a vacuum. They expect a reaction, and when they get none, it can force them into a moment of reflection. Why aren't they upset? Did I misjudge their strength? Your composure signals high value and emotional maturity far more effectively than any argument ever could. People are drawn to those who are centered, not to those who crumble under pressure. Think of it as protecting your inner citadel. Their rejection was an external action. Your emotional outburst would be the predictable reaction. By choosing composure, you break the chain. You refuse to let their external action breach the walls of your inner peace. Acknowledge the sting of rejection internally, feel it, but do not let it dictate your outward behavior. As Seneca advised, the goal is not to suppress emotions, but to master them. Maintain politeness, but create distance. Be kind, but be emotionally unavailable to their turmoil. Resist the urge to prove them wrong in some loud, performative way. The most powerful proof is your quiet, focused action on your own life. When they see you continuing to thrive without them, it speaks far louder than any words you could have said. Do not reveal your struggle. Process your pain privately. To the one who rejected you, and to the world, present a face of calm dignity. This is not pretending. It is understanding that your inner citadel is yours to protect. Lesson 5. Learn to love your fate. There is a concept in Stoicism that is perhaps the most liberating of all. Amor fati, a love of one's fate. This is not passive resignation. It is an active, enthusiastic embrace of everything the Logos, or universal reason, gives you. The good, the bad, and especially the rejection. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who was deeply influenced by the Stoics, called amor fati his formula for human greatness. That one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, but love it. This is the final alchemy. It is one thing to endure rejection. It is another to use it. But it is a whole other level to love it. To love the rejection is to see it as a necessary and perfect part of your story. It is to trust that the person you are becoming is being forged in these very fires. Without that specific no from that specific person, at that specific time, you would not be on the path you are on now. You would not be learning these Stoic lessons. So the rejection was not just a good thing, it was essential. When you are rejected, you feel like something has gone wrong. Amor Fati invites you to consider the opposite, that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, according to a rational order. That no was not a cosmic error. It was a crucial ingredient. It was the bitter medicine needed to get well, the harsh trainer needed to get strong. How do you practice this? You start by changing your questions. Instead of, why did this happen to me? You ask, what is this here to teach me? You look at the setback, and in your own quiet way, you say, thank you. Thank you for showing me my weaknesses. Thank you for redirecting me. Thank you for giving me this chance to practice courage and wisdom. Seneca said that difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. We go to the gym to lift heavy things, to break down our muscles so they can grow back stronger. Rejection is the gymnasium for your character. An easy life, free of rejection, creates a weak spirit. As Seneca wrote, I judge you unfortunate, because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an opponent. No one can ever know what you are capable of, not even you. By loving your fate, you are no longer a victim. You take the raw material of your life, the triumphs, the failures, the rejections, and you build a monument to your own resilience. You turn the very thing that was meant to stop you into the fuel that propels you forward. Lesson 6. Focus on building yourself in silence. When someone rejects you, they are making a judgment based on the version of you that exists in that one moment. The common response is to try and change their mind about the current you. The far more powerful Stoic response is to make their judgment irrelevant by becoming someone new. This is the principle of unseen transformation. Shift your focus completely away from them and turn it inward, toward building your inner citadel. This citadel is your mind, your body, your skills, your character. Your job is to become so absorbed in your own growth that the rejection shrinks until it is just a footnote in your story. Instead of checking their social media, read a book by a Stoic philosopher. Instead of replaying the rejection in your head, go for a long walk in nature. Instead of talking about them, work on your project, your art, your business. Pour all of that hurt and frustrated energy into the furnace of self-improvement. Let the rejection be the fuel for building your virtue. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Who do you want to be in 6 months? In a year? A person of discipline, knowledge, strength? Define that person, and let every action be a quiet step in that direction. And you must do it for yourself, not to win back their approval. That is still seeking an external, which is outside your control. As Seneca noted, changing your location does not solve your problems if you do not change the person you are. The reverse psychology here is profound. When you stop chasing them and start building yourself, your entire energy changes. You are no longer radiating neediness. You are radiating purpose and self-respect. Paradoxically, that is the very energy that often makes the person who rejected you reconsider. They see you thriving, and they realize they may have misjudged your trajectory. But here is the beautiful part. By the time they notice, you will not care anymore. You will be so invested in your new life, so in love with the person you are becoming that their validation will feel irrelevant. You will have built your own source of it from within. Do not announce your progress. Let your virtuous actions speak for themselves, silently and powerfully. The goal is not to prove them wrong. It is to prove your own potential to yourself. The rejection was just the catalyst. The event that showed you the old structure was no longer enough. Now you are building a fortress of character, and you are doing it in silence. We are going deep into the art of transforming rejection. If these ideas are resonating with you, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who might need to hear this. And subscribe to Thought 101 for more wisdom on building an unstoppable mindset. Be sure to click the notification bell so you never miss a new lesson. And in the comments below, write the affirmative statement, "My focus builds my empire." Let us fill the comments with this declaration and reinforce this commitment to ourselves. Now, back to the lessons. Lesson 7. Keep your struggle private. In a world of oversharing, we are often encouraged to turn our private turmoil into a public spectacle. When we are rejected, the temptation is to seek sympathy, to have people confirm that we were wronged. The Stoic path champions the dignity of the unrevealed struggle. This does not mean you suffer in absolute silence, or that asking for help is a weakness. It means being incredibly selective about who you allow into the sacred space of your vulnerability. You share it with a trusted mentor, a therapist, or a close friend who has earned the right to hear it. You do not broadcast it to the world for fleeting external validation, which the Stoics would advise against. To the person who rejected you, and to the public, you maintain your composure. This is not a false facade. It is the embodiment of the principle that your inner state is your own sanctuary. True strength does not need to announce its own pain. It processes it with grace and transforms it into quiet resolve. Virtue is its own reward. It does not require an audience. Think of an iceberg. The world only sees the tip, strong, solid, moving with purpose. The vast, unseen mass below the surface is where the real work is happening. That is your inner world. You do not need to show everyone the entire iceberg. Marcus Aurelius wrote his Meditations as a private journal, not a public announcement. It was his space to grapple with his own frustrations and fears without burdening his empire with his inner turmoil. He knew that a person of character shows strength not by having no struggles, but by handling them with quiet fortitude. So the next time you face rejection, resist the urge to post a sad quote or complain to anyone who will listen. Acknowledge your emotions privately. Write them down. Talk to 1 or 2 people you trust. Then, to the rest of the world, put your shoulders back, hold your head high, and focus on your next virtuous action. Your dignity is a fortress. Do not give the key to those who do not deserve entry. Let your resilience be silent, and let your success be your noise. Lesson 8. Seek feedback, not validation. There is a subtle but critical difference between seeking feedback and seeking validation. Mastering this separates the amateur from the master in the art of handling rejection. Validation is a plea. It is asking, "Am I good enough? Please tell me I am okay." It is a hunger for the external approval of others, which places your self-worth in their hands. When you seek validation from the person who just rejected you, you are asking them to soothe your ego. It comes from a position of weakness. Feedback, on the other hand, is a tool. It is asking, what can I learn from this? How can I improve my process for the future? It is a quest for information, not affirmation. It comes from a position of strength and a commitment to the Stoic virtue of wisdom. Think of it like an alchemist. The rejection is lead, heavy and dull. The validation seeker stares at the lead, wishing it were gold. The Stoic alchemist puts it into the fire of analysis to see what it is made of, so it can be transformed. After some time has passed and emotions have cooled, approaching the source of rejection for feedback can be a powerful move, but only with the right mindset. You are not there to debate their decision. You are there as student. For example, after a job interview, you could send a polite email. Thank you again for your time and for the opportunity. I respect your decision and was wondering if you might be willing to share any feedback on areas where I could strengthen my candidacy for future roles. Any insights you could offer would be a great help for my professional development. Notice the language. It is respectful of their control over the decision. It is focused on your growth, not their rejection. It is professional and emotionally detached. Many people will be so impressed by this maturity, they will be happy to offer advice. That advice is pure gold. It is a roadmap for your next attempt. This approach instantly changes the dynamic. You are no longer the rejected party, but a proactive individual committed to excellence. It shows you value growth more than you fear rejection. When you can honestly thank someone for the lesson packaged in their no, you have reached a new level of Stoic power. Lesson 9. The freedom of letting go. We have reforged rejection into a tool for growth. Now for the final and most liberating step, letting it go completely. True freedom is not found in using rejection, but in releasing it. This is the art of detachment, a cornerstone of Stoic peace. Detachment does not mean you become cold or that you do not care. It means you release your grip on outcomes you cannot control. As long as you are secretly hoping the person who rejected you will change their mind, or that you can one day prove them wrong, you are still chained to them. Your energy is still tied to their judgment, and external. Letting go is cutting that chain, not for them, but for you. It is the final act of taking your power back into your own inner citadel. Seneca wisely pointed out that we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. We replay the rejection. We imagine what we could have done differently, and we torture ourselves with what might have been. To let go is to stop living in this painful theater of the mind and return fully to the present moment. It is to accept that their decision is a part of your past, not a determinant of your future. A practical way to do this is to perform a mental ceremony of release. Find a quiet moment. Visualize the person or the opportunity that rejected you. Acknowledge the pain it caused without judgment. Then, with a genuine spirit, wish them well in your mind. Say, I release you. I release the outcome. I release my attachment to what could have been. I set myself free. This is not about condoning any hurt they may have caused. It is about refusing to carry that hurt any longer. You are not a vessel for old pain. You are a creator of new possibilities. Epictetus taught that we are disturbed not by events, but by our judgment about events. The rejection was an event. Your continued suffering is a judgment. By letting go, you are changing your judgment. You are deciding that this event will no longer have the power to disturb your peace. This is the ultimate reverse psychology. They expected their rejection to bind you, but instead, you use it as the final key to unlock your own freedom. The architect of your response. We have explored the anatomy of rejection through the lens of Stoicism and reforged it from a weapon used against you into a tool you wield for yourself. The timeless message is this: the event itself is not what hurts you. Rejection is neutral. A door closing. What hurts is the story you tell yourself about it. They thought rejecting you would stop you. Instead, they gave you a moment of pure, unfiltered feedback. They gave you a redirection to a path more suited to your destiny. They gave you a reason to turn inward and build an empire of self-respect and inner citadel that no one can ever touch. They gave you a fire to test your character. You now understand how to see rejection not as a verdict, but as a direction. You know how to use it as a mirror for honest reflection. You have the key to focusing only on what you can control. You have seen the quiet power in composure and strategic silence. You have learned to love your fate, embracing every setback as a necessary part of your growth. You have committed to building your empire in silence. You know how to seek priceless feedback instead of worthless validation. And finally, you know how to set yourself free by letting go. The pain from past rejections was not a sign of weakness. It was the pain of trying to control the uncontrollable. Today, that can end. You now have the Stoic mindset that can make you anti-fragile, someone who does not just endure rejection, but grows stronger from it. The next time a door slams shut, you will not feel that old despair. You might just feel a quiet sense of curiosity. You may even thank the door for its guidance. And you will turn, with a calm smile, to face the new, more expansive hallway it has just revealed. You are not defined by those who reject you. You are defined by how you respond. And from this day forward, your response will be one of unstoppable, graceful power. If this message has helped you feel you can take back your control, please support the channel. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson in building your inner fortress. Please also share this video with anyone you feel could benefit from hearing this philosophy. Finally, in the comments below, share one lesson from this video that you will start applying today. Your journey has just begun. Stay stoic.